Hi everyone, it's Andy Gorman here, and one of the things that I have great pleasure in is first looks at some of the brand new, quirky, strange, awesome, ridiculously good, incredibly questionable pieces of equipment that come through. First looks that we get, to be honest with you, sometimes we don't even get the working information, the blueprint of why the product was designed. But what I do have here under this cover is the latest putter from Kronos, US company. You may have seen them on America's version of the Dragon's Den. I think it's Shark Tank or something along those lines, a number of years ago. Been making some really nice putters. Putters actually I've sold in the past, so I have a bit of a working history with the guys. But a good friend of mine has acquired one of these and asked me to do a review. So here's the reveal. He's took the wrapper off. But hey, the biggest wrapper we need to worry about is this one here. So first and foremost, fab looking head cover. It's got your usual sort of metallics, sort of magnetic. Head cover's only as good as what it looks like when it's taken off, to be honest with you. But a really nice looking product. It's a club that actually looks a little similar to a lot of clubs now that are out there. It's a Fang type design. I don't think you can actually run the name Fang, to be perfectly honest with you, but we know which company is sort of endorsing that with a numbered putter. But yeah, very much along the lines of, looks like a tooth that could come out of my mouth. But it has that sort of fangy type style, and it's a mallet design. In principle, it has a face balance shaft aligned into the centre of the head. That's all face balance actually means. And face balance from this point of view has no bearing on what the putter does this way around. Okay? It's just a sales blurb. Forget what it really means. Ultimately it's just the shaft aligned into the centre of the head. That's what causes the putter to hang in that position. If there was more weight this side of the shaft, then the putter would sit that way around. It's as simple as that. So in other words, the weight would be over here if that was the case. And the reason why it hangs this way is because the weight, mass weight, you can see, is actually hanging this way around. But actually, I'm showing you this way. This putter, I'm going to call these skid rails. I don't know what they've called them in their blurb. But as far as the putter's concerned, a lot of mass weight in the front, which is where the putter is striking the ball, obviously, in the face. Then there's a couple of skid rails here, but you'll notice that there is a lot of weight high up on the club. Now, I've been saying for years that putter manufacturers need to get a grip of this, because when you put the weight at the bottom, that means the sweet spot comes down the club. If you push the weight up to the top, guess what? The sweet spot moves up with it. And what you'll find with this is, and I think this is going to be something we'll see in putter manufacturing going forward. I think certainly when we're talking about potential to design putters and make putters in a way that we've been printed putters, we're going to see a whole lot of different styles and designs. Some will be great, some will be really peculiar, but they're going to allow us to play with the weight a lot more. What I like about this is that Kronos has actually physically moved the weight up. My only criticism of this putter, having hit a few putts, is this snag plate. Okay, I don't think you need this, guys. I really don't. I think that this doesn't stabilise the putter. It if anything causes a snag factor on the putter itself. I really do think that you've missed a trick on that. You could remove that. That will move some of the metal higher and the weight higher up if you do that. I'd like to see that going forward. That's your call, not mine. In terms of whether you do it, but it is definitely my call on that is definitely possible snagging. First impressions, as soon as I put the putter down, was it snagged there. The rest of it, as soon as I put the putter down visibly, it was like, wow, I like the shape of that, I like the look of it. And I'm not a fan of mallet putters, as many of you will know, but when I put the putter down, it's pleasing to the eye. It sits nicely. That snag plate, I'm going to call it that, I'm going to call it these skid plates, allow the putter to glide, but this snagging area here does not stabilise the putter any more than the skid plates will. You've got enough contact on the bottom there to stabilise it. When you put the putter down, it has its typical bending profile into the shaft. It looks like a KBS shaft, to be perfectly honest with you. I've seen quite a few of these profiles, shafts around, and you know, they are making fantastic putter shafts these days. But essentially, a really good looking putter. It's got a super finish to it. I love the colour. The colour really does add a kind of a luxury feel to it. So for me, you know, when you touch a putter, you know, this tactile element of the putter, there's no sharp edges. It just feels a really good quality putter. I have hit some putts with it. It feels really good. We'll go and hit some putts again, and I'll give you my impressions of it once we get the ball rolling again. See you next time. Right, well, I've hit a few putts with this, and I've got to be perfectly honest with you. You'll see from the images that we've captured during that, the ball rolls really solid. You know, nice vertical roll, end over end. Of course, there's a bit of that in me. I've got to admit, and you would have to admit it as well. If you're hitting this, look, there is no putter out there that's going to correct a poor strike, so you've got to be able to strike it reasonably well. But nice roll out, consistent speeds. That was the thing I noticed off the club face. Nice and stable in terms of the way that the ball rolled and start line, so you know, I'm very impressed with that. Also quite like the fact that, you know, these skid bars on the bottom here will also offer a little bit of stability on a mishit. So you know, there's a little bit of extra mass there. It's not a huge amount, it's not going to make a massive amount of difference, but it's going to offer some stability on a missed strike, a little bit more than if they weren't there, certainly. I expected it to sound tinny. You'll hear on the videos that it doesn't do that. You know, I expected this little pocket to be able to create a little bit of, you know, sort of tuning fork like ping sound, and it's not doing that. All in all, I think the Kronos putter, this particular one, which the name is Kampe. I trust I've got that right. K-A-M-P-E. But Kampe is, you know, it's a really nice solid putter. I like it. I'm excited to see what else the guys are going to end up doing on this kind of design format. It's going to change the way we look at putters. I think it's, you know, it's one of the first generation of putters that are moving the weight up. It's not a new thing. I've seen this many, many years ago, but ultimately it's not being employed as a mainstream style design of putting. We are quite used to the Anza style, where the weight is low down, heel and toe weighting. This is definitely a change on that, and it's a performance change. And if it's a performance change with good looks as well, this is definitely not ugly to the eye. I'm not a huge fan of mallet putters, as I've said many a time before, but I like this. Would I use it without it being centre shafted? No, but if a centre shafted version of this came out, I could definitely see the option for me to put a mallet design with this nice upper weighting into the club, you know, into the bag potentially. So yeah, that's, look, if I'm giving it a score out of 10, then this one's definitely going to be an 8.5 or a 9. There are a lot of boxes ticked there. This comes away, potentially it could be a 10. Great product, Kronos in the US. Check them out. It's a great product. Enjoy playing with it. See you soon.